Hello friends and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I've been looking at the different rosters and I have been speculating as to which characters we are going to be getting next. Since EA and CG are pretty character happy right now, I feel like the changes to the game will probably be in the form of new characters for the next little bit, or at least until they launch their new game mode, and we don't know when that's going to happen. So, until they do, here is to speculating about which characters we're going to get. Now, specifically, I'm going to look at which factions are likely to get the most characters, and which factions will be left in the dust. Now, I want to start off by saying, well, I don't think that it's likely that we'll get new Empire characters. I think it's possible that we could get command ships. Now, Thrawn, his addition to the game is great, but Thrawn is a fleet commander in the Imperial Navy. He says that in his latest book, which is phenomenal, but he says it over and over again. He says it in Rebels. He says it in a number of different aspects or a number of different areas. And I think that it is doing this game a disservice to not give him an Imperial ship. Why just add one ship when you can go through and add a few more? Now, I also think that General Grievous would be a great person to have for the Separatists. I think there's a few other droids that could be added in based on the cartoon materials. I think if we were to just run with the Galactic Republic, I think seeing Wolf Yularen, who was a fleet commander, added to the fleet ships and to the game. And I don't think that we're going to see that, but that would be awesome. I was a huge fan of Yularen in the Clone Wars. Also, he's in a few other things that I won't spoil it for you people, but it is great. He is an awesome character. There are a few groups that I think could receive some work, but I think it's more likely that we'll either get reworks or they'll just be left alone. And I think those groups are the Jedi, the Sith, the Jawa, the Clone Troopers, and the Night Sisters. Now these groups, barring the Jedi and Sith, the Jawa and the Clone Troopers, the Jawas, and the Night Sisters, all have exactly 5 characters. Now, I think it's possible that we could get more characters for these factions. I just don't think it's likely right now. There's not a lot of information coming out around these factions, so I'm not seeing how they would put it out. If EA can't cross-promote something, then it's not necessarily likely that we're going to see additions to those sections. I think that what they'll do is they'll wait for a couple of months, wait till there's a lull in material for Star Wars, and just throw out an extra character every once in a while. Probably is something like a monthly login character. I could see that being a way to introduce the Jawas, or introducing a new Jawa Clone Trooper, or even a Night Sister, to help flesh out those teams. But the teams that don't have a full team, as you are probably well aware of, are the Geonosians, the Tuskens, and the Ewoks. Now, I don't think the Geonosians are going to get any love any time in the near future. It's possible, but I honestly don't think it. I could see maybe if there was a Geonosian raid that focused on maybe attacking the Hive Mother type thing, and you went through a series of Geonosians to do that. But really, what's going on with the Geonosians right now in canon? Nothing. Like, nothing at all. And it's likely that we're not going to get anything from or for that faction. Same thing with the Tuskens. I don't think that we're going to see any new Tuskens added. Now, in July, we do get the latest installment of the Star Wars canon in the form of the novel Inferno Squad. Inferno Squad takes place shortly after the Battle of Endor, and takes these characters from the fall of the Empire all the way through the rise of the First Order. Now, Inferno Squad, the book, also ties into Battlefront 2 and quite possibly Phasma, the novelization, or the novel of Phasma, that is set. Both of those are set to release later this fall. Now, because EA loves to cross-promote, I think that what we could see is an introduction of the main character, or the commander of the Inferno Squad, into Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. It would just make sense, because then they can promote the book, then they can promote Battlefront 2, so on and so forth. Then, in August, depending on when the Luke event is set to take place, we could see that character leading off the battle against Luke. Now, we could see the entire Inferno Squad. I don't think that's necessarily likely. I think it's likely we'll see one character and not the whole group, simply because we've only really been introduced to one character and not the whole group. What the August event for Luke will look like, since it will be said with a Jedi Luke, and Luke wasn't really a Jedi until episode 6, it's likely that what we'll see is Luke on the planet of Endor, surrounded by rebels and Ewoks. So what you'll need to have is a team of the opposition, and since you will need a team of the opposition, it is possible, and I think likely, that we will see members of Inferno Squad being part of that opposition. Now, while I don't think it's necessarily probable that we will see this, especially since we haven't seen a lot of, discussion, or there haven't been a ton of rumors around this, I think it would be really cool to see this being introduced, see Inferno Squad being introduced to the game, so that we can get hyped for Battlefront 2, so that we can get hyped for the novel. I'm really looking forward to it, and until we get more information, we are kind of left to speculate what's going to happen, what new characters we're going to get. But that would be awesome. I would really think it would be cool to make the connection between the novel of Battlefront, the novel Inferno Squad, to the game, the new Battlefront 2 game. I'm really excited about both of those. What do you think? Do you think we're going to get Inferno Squad? Do you think they're going to just introduce random characters? What characters would you like to see added to the game? Leave a comment in the section below and tell us what you think. Tell us what you hope for. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and as always, my friends, stay nerdy.